I mean, sure it does. Like, if I need to look up, how much did I spend when I went to that restaurant last time? I can do that, right?
I don't care what I spent at that restaurant.
I'm trying to tee you up here. That's fine. Continue. You can still look it up. That's the thing. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, right. You can still look it up.
You are not alone.
No, you are not. Friends, today, Ben and I are going to fight.
Stick them up.
We're setting up the octagon. No, nothing like that.
Oh, man, but we could do like a charity MMA situation. Like when we're going to do like the boxing match where we just punch each other and we make a ton of money and we go off into the sunset, right?
For another day.
Can you imagine?
Today we're gonna verbally spar. We're going to debate some of the most classic YNAB arguments.
I've been in the communities for ever since I started using YNAB for like, I don't know, 15 years or whatever. So I know all of these arguments deep down in my core. And yeah, we're just gonna argue, but we're not just gonna like argue what we think. Okay, we're gonna pick a topic. We have 12 topics, right? We're gonna pick 12 topics, and we're gonna set a timer, and we're gonna flip a coin to see who's on what side of the argument. Okay, that way, you guys know we're not actually mad. I might even make some arguments that I don't think are good arguments, and we're gonna see where we get. It's gonna be really fun.
And I think it's worth pointing out that this is for entertainment purposes only, right? We're not, because you said we're going to be arguing for sides that we necessarily don't believe in.
Yeah.
We just thought it'd be really fun to throw this stuff in the ring and just see what comes of it. Exactly. Because I think at the end of the day, we would both say, like, just do what you want. Okay, that works.
That's honestly, do what you want. As long as you're giving every dollar job, I don't care. So
Right.
Okay, so what's our first topic? Should we just jump right into it?
Let's just jump right in. Emojis on categories. Yes or no?
Okay. So this is just whether or not you should have some color. And your opinion has changed over the years a little bit, but
a little bit. So I'm ready to go whatever side of it I get. Why don't you flip that coin?
Okay, so we got this YNAB 20-year anniversary coin. Very special. Only YNAB employees get this. Sorry, guys. Not for sale. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, flipping it. Oh, wait. You got to call it.
Heads.
It's tails. So what does that mean? Did we do this right? Wait. Okay. We have to be like, I guess you get to pick. Is that how it works?
Okay, that's what it is. I called heads. I win. I get to pick which side.
Well, it is tails. So I guess I get to
Oh,
it was tails. Wow, we really screwed this up right off the bat. Okay,
you're gonna pick, and also we need to call this out. That was an incredible flip, Ben.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
I mean, I hope Ben sketchy
works.
Advice. Yeah, I hope he's watching this. Sketchy advice. That's how you do it.
Okay. I'm gonna pick. I actually, because you're actually less of an emoji person than I am, I'm gonna pick no emojis. Okay, I'm gonna argue against emojis, and you can argue for.
Okay. And we don't want this to get out of hand, so we're gonna try to limit it to 3 minutes. Timer starts now. You go.
So, if you're doing money stuff, it's super serious, right? Like, you don't need a bunch of silly colors in your money app. You want it to be all stark and intense and serious. So you don't want to add some emojis to your categories because that's just going to get too silly, Ernie.
Ben, that is old money advice. Categories need to reflect your life, your priorities, right? You need to open up YNAB and be like, oh my goodness, I see myself on this screen. Put those emojis on. And you can have categories filled with emojis. You can have just one emoji. Doesn't matter.
Well,
put the emojis on.
You know what allows you to express yourself? Words. What happened to good old words? Letters.
Boring.
The Phoenician alphabet or what other alphabet you're using. I like words myself. Colors and pictures. I'm not a toddler. I'm not a child. I don't need to see pictures to understand what people are trying to say. I use words like an adult, Ernie.
But here's the thing. We've been using words for decades and decades, and where has it gotten us? Nowhere. We need to try something different. Put those emojis on your categories.
I can't do this. Okay, so where has it gotten us, Ernie? Well, I feel like, when were emojis invented? Like 2013? It's been all downhill from there, Ernie. Let's be honest. I think that the reason why the world's so in such a sorry state is because of emojis. Because people just can't be chill and look at words. They've stood the test of time, Ernie. They've been around thousands of years. These emoji things, they're new. Can we really trust emojis? That's what I'm trying to say,
Okay. You're trying to convince family and friends to use YNAB, right? It's changed your life. Mm-hmm. If you just throw a ton of words in their face, the eyes are going to roll to the back of their heads. And you'll be like, yawn. I've heard this before.
Yeah, but don't you want your family and friends to think that this is a serious situation? Your money's not something you're supposed to have fun with.
Well, they'll know it's a serious situation when they look at my bank balance.
Hey, oh. I got to give you a zinger there, Ernie. That's pretty good. How much time do we have left? This feels like a really long time.
It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay. We're going to stop it right there.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Okay, we have 10 seconds left. You have one final argument.
How have people been expressing themselves forever? Words. That's it. And you want your money to be super serious word person money.
Folks, this is going swimmingly well. We only got 11 more of these for you, so
I think my actual bias bled in there and I just made horrible arguments on purpose. But right. I'm just going to lean right in. I'm going to do that. Okay. Well, that was a good warm-up.
And folks, I'm sure you have strong opinions about all of these topics. So, as you're thinking through your arguments, be sure to share those in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
All right, next topic. Linking accounts or not linking your accounts. So if you don't know, if you haven't used YNAB before, welcome. You can link your account to your bank to bring in transactions automatically. Makes things a little easier, but maybe there's an argument for not doing that. So, Ernie, you want to flip the coin this time?
I'm using my 7-year anniversary coin.
Hey, there you go.
Got this last year. All right, Ben, heads or tails?
Oh, heads.
Oh. It is tails.
Okay, you get to pick.
I'm going to go with linking.
Okay, not linking. You're going to make me the fuddy-duddy again. All right, let's do this.
Everyone, if linking is available, should choose that option because it's so convenient. YNAB imports where you spent money and how much you spent. All you need to do is categorize. Easy peasy.
But does it take you out of the process a little bit? Wouldn't it be better to write down, type out every single transaction that you do by yourself on your own? You'll have more awareness, right? You'll have more of a connection with your spending if you actually manually enter it every single time. Won't you?
I feel like I get that awareness when I'm looking at the screen and I see those transactions that imported. And I'm like, oh, Costco, $200. Yeah, what did I buy there? Okay, groceries. Categorize as groceries. I move on with my day. So I still get the awareness. It's just easier. and it saves me time, and then I can go on and live my life instead of entering stuff in the parking lot or in the cashier's line.
But do you really want to live your life? Don't you want to just YNAB all the time? I mean, there's nothing better than staring at your plan and just basking in the glory of it and looking at those transactions. I mean, do you really want to spend less time in YNAB, Ernie? Is that what you're saying? You can't do it. You can't handle it.
Yes, that is what I'm saying, Ben.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I want to do other things like golf and clean my kitchen, organize my closet.
Super interesting.
All
stuff.
those super interesting hobbies that I have.
Well, hobbies, cleaning your kitchen. Sure. So, here's another thing about not linking your accounts. Sometimes things go wrong, and with the linking feature, there's a lot of moving parts. Something breaks down, right? What are you going to do then? You don't know how. You've never done it. You're like, oh, I don't know how to do this because I rely only on linking. What do I do?
No. YNAB's so intuitive. You're going to be able to figure out how to categorize and do that stuff yourself. But here's the thing, like, you have to be aware while you're categorizing those things. Like, it can't be a mindless chore that you do every single day or every single week. So you still have to be engaged. And I think if you stay engaged, you're going to catch those problems. Oh, you're going to catch there's a duplicate here. Or, this imported matched incorrectly. Or, something didn't import. Why haven't transactions imported in 7 days? Oh, I better check my connection. If you stay engaged, you'll catch those things.
Okay. So you're not saying like completely. Okay, here's the deal. If you're so engaged, like what if you enter a transaction and then it imports and now you got two of them? What about that?
Well, you can delete one or match them.
But why can't YNAB just, automatically? I'm trying to tee you up here, Ernie. Why can't YNAB just automatically match it up or something? Wouldn't that be cool if it could do it? Unfortunately, it's just not. The technology's not there, is it, Ernie? I don't know.
It can.
What?
YNAB can automatically match up transactions. You don't have to worry about duplicates.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sure there's other reasons not to link. I'm having trouble thinking of any.
That is time.
All right, I think you won, Ernie. I was trying to tee you up for the thing.
I know. I got lost in my thoughts of where I wanted to go. So like trying to think and listen to you, I lost it there.
I genuinely think I see it all the time in the communities. Like I think that is a reason why people don't want to link their accounts because they're like, oh, I worried about getting duplicates because sometimes I enter stuff. But I think the best way to do it is if you can link your accounts and you're comfortable with it, link it and then enter stuff yourself as much as you can, and it'll link up and you have this beautiful, this like kind of like man machine working together kind of feel, feels good.
Yes. All right. That one went a little bit better.
I did get a little silly, but it's fine. I'm not going to stop either. So here we go.
Let's move on to topic number 3. This is a budget nerds classic. We could almost triple the time, talk about this one for 9 or 10 minutes, but we'll keep it at 3. We'll just see what happens.
We did a whole episode on this one. So
cash accounts or cash categories.
Should we explain what we mean a little bit here? Because I feel like it's a little bit, you need to understand. So there's two ways to handle cash in YNAB. We're talking about like physical paper money, right? Or coins. You can have a cash category where if you have a category, you assign money to it, and then when you take money out of the bank or the ATM, you just categorize it to the cash category, and you don't track it. You just spend it, right? Or you can have an account, like I call it my wallet account, where anytime you take money out, you transfer from your checking account to your wallet account, and then you track the cash with transactions like you normally would, right? 2 ways to handle it. It's a big debate.
Yep. So I'm going to call heads.
Okay, here we go. Flipping the coin.
I really hope I win this one. I want to win this one.
It's heads.
Cash accounts.
Okay. You're just making me do all the ones I don't want to do. Okay.
Okay, I'll try to be a little bit more generous moving forward.
Fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. You take it.
Cash accounts.
Actually,
Everyone.
this is easy. Okay. Sorry.
everyone should have a cash account. No matter if you say you don't ever use cash, you should still have a cash account for those seldom times you do receive it. They are just that slick.
You're going full universal. Everyone should have one.
I think everyone should.
I think nobody should have a cash account. I think it's silly. I think we should just go into the code and delete it from YNAB. It shouldn't even be a thing. Yeah, that's what I think. Because cash categories are so much better. They're just so much better because you don't have to worry about it. I mean, have you ever dealt with cash? I mean, it's so finicky and papery. It's like we're in the modern era, Ernie, and you don't need to worry about cash. Just you don't spend very much of it. No, like nobody does. And then when you take it out of the ATM, it's spent. You don't worry about it. That's the way I think you should do it.
Okay, but what about those situations where you're like, all right, I'm going to go to the store and I know that I'm going to the farmer's market afterwards. So let's take out some cash. So I take out $40.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the farmer's market.
Sure.
And I spend $23 on groceries. Yeah. I've got $17 left. So how am I handling that through the category?
Because you already handled it.
Now I've got to do a split transaction.
No, it's already handled. You put it to the cash category. You didn't spend it on groceries. You didn't spend it on whatever. You spent it on cash. It's gone. So you don't worry about it. Now you got some money. Do whatever you want.
Now I'm losing clarity on how I actually spent my money.
I mean, it's $40. Is it going to kill you? I mean, you're not going to die. Are you going to die, Ernie? Are you going to die? Like
no, I won't. But if I do this week after week, I get to the end of the year and I look at Reflect and I just have thousands of dollars spent out of cash. And I'm like,
thousands of dollars. I mean, okay, you take $40. It's like $200. I mean,
the cash account just gives you so much clarity.
All right. Okay. I'll give you it as clarity, but it takes so much work. I mean, okay, I'll give you the same scenario. You take $40 out, you go to the farmer's market, you spend $23, and then you forgot to add it into YNAB. And there's now no record anywhere in the world because you're not getting a receipt at the farmer's market. I mean, come on. You're not making like the farmers give you a receipt. Come on. So you got no receipt, you got no bank to look at, there's no source of truth. And then like later on, you're like, you got all this, you're off you're trying to reconcile this and you're off and you have no idea. What do you do then, Ernie? What do you do then?
Okay, I'll give you that. If you have a cash account, you do have to stick with it. I mean, it does take some work. But
we don't want to do work.
It pays off. You've got clarity and you've got simplicity because spending cash becomes so easy.
I feel like the category is simple because you just get the cash out and you forget about it. Don't even worry about it. We give every dollar a job all the time. And it's just, don't you feel like it's a little oppressive? Every once in a while, you can just have like a category that's just whatever. That's the cash category. It's fun.
I will give you that. Sometimes I get jealous when I hear of YNABers who they get the cash and they're like, free money, where I'm like, no, every cent that comes into this household is tracked. Yes, that can be a little oppressive.
All right. So you're all on board with the cash category now, huh?
Time. So I don't have to answer that question.
I like how Ernie's like, I don't want to talk, so now it's time. Is there even really a timer?
That one actually went to 4 minutes.
Oh.
We got 3 in, and I was like, this isn't... We got to keep going here. Yeah.
Well, if you want our opinion, I think the vast majority of the community is cash category people. But if you want me and Ernie's opinion, we have a whole episode on this where we will try to convince you to use cash accounts. So there you go.
And I'm sticking with that hot take at the beginning. That kind of just off the top of my head, but I think everyone should have a cash account. I think they are that valuable.
I think you should try it. I mean, give it a shot. Like, you're not going to die. Give it a try. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Topic number 4. Assign to next month or holding category.
Absolute classic.
Yeah, you're a month ahead. You're trying to get a month ahead. You get paid. Do you assign that new paycheck into a holding category or do you assign it directly into next month?
Okay. I will flip the coin. You call heads or tails. Oh, that's
Tails.
a good flip. I wish you guys could see it. It is tails. Yeah, you get to pick every time. All right.
Okay.
Do whatever you want, Ernie. Don't feel pressured. Do whatever you want.
I'm going to give you holding category.
Okay.
Because that's what you currently use.
No, I don't use the holding category. I'm always assigned it next month.
Okay, so you get assigned next month because I've always used the holding category and I just converted to the assigning to next month.
Okay. All right. I like that. Okay. Yeah, and I actually, because of new features, I have some good reasons here. So let's talk it out. Okay.
Okay, well, hit me with them.
Everybody should just assign money straight into next month rather than having this holding category where you let money sit for so long, and it's just silly. Like, you know what you want to do with that money, just kick into next month, assign it there. It's out of sight, it's out of mind, and then when the next month rolls around, you have this beautiful all green categories fully filled out. You're a month ahead. It feels great.
But I lose sight of that money when I assign to next month because I'm only looking at the current month. I forget that there's dollars in next month, and then when I try rolling with the punches, I end up with negative ready to assign to next month, and it just confuses me.
That is true. There are some software quirks where, if you assign money into next month, ready to assign might go negative there because of overspending in the current month. But you don't lose sight of it because we have all these features now where you have an alert in the web app. And actually, I believe there's something coming to the mobile app soon where if you are negative in future months, you'll see it, right? We'll bring it up to you so you can go forward and fix that, right? So I think there was an argument for a while because of software quirks to use the holding category, but I think that's been diminished quite a bit now.
Well, I don't know. I don't like building my next month plan paycheck by paycheck. I like doing it all at once. So I keep it in the holding category, then I release it at the end of the month, and then the beginning of that next month, I just all at once build that plan, assign all the dollars.
But wouldn't you like to have, especially if you're paid multiple times a month? I mean, you're paid like 1 billion times a month, right? Because you have
every week.
Yeah, you get paid like every week. Wouldn't you rather have the joy of assigning money every week rather than just doing it once all at once at the end of the month?
Okay, I will give you that because payday is really, really boring. Like, there's no fun in payday. It just goes into that holding category, but it makes the beginning of the next month exceptionally fun.
Okay. So you're delaying gratification and you get a little extra fun. That's fair. Well, there are new features like cost to be me that I feel like makes it a little better to just go for having just assigning the money next month. Because if you have, if you have a holding category with a target on it, your cost to be me is going to be like doubled in a weird way. Like, there's a lot of features in YNAB that I think are unlocked. Also, there's the new feature that shows you your progress toward getting a month ahead. If you set money aside in a holding category, you don't get to see the progress, that little pie chart moving up as you assign money into next month, do you?
Which is pretty cool. I'll admit that. And what I've done in the past is I've used like a custom savings goal and like have a balance buy. So I've tried to use the targets in a similar fashion, but they just don't always work because, you fill the category up, then you got to take it out. And it says that you didn't meet the target. So yeah, I do like that new feature.
There's software quirks with assigning money next month. I'll admit it. But there's also there's software quirks with using the holding category because you don't get as much out of YNAB as you could because you didn't actually assign the money next month. So I don't know. I think I'll admit there's arguments for both sides here, but I think that assigning next month just comes right out ahead there.
I've got nothing else and we're over time.
Wow, did we actually come to a conclusion there?
Well, we were at 3:30. Well, that one was tough because I've actually changed my mind.
Why aren't you stopping us?
Because I feel like there's good content there. I don't want to just cut us off.
You're right. We don't cut us off.
But
I think the communities, I bet most of the comments are going to say, nah, it's still the holding category. Because I think what it is the holding category people are like super vocal, like they're big fans of it. And so you hear more of them. But I think most people are probably assigning next month. I wouldn't be surprised.
And the reason personally that I changed to assigning next month is I just wanted to utilize those new features more.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe at some point, because I know I've talked to the product team, the assigned to future months feature is like that's the first step, and I know there's more we want to do. So maybe they'll incorporate both options in the future. I don't. That's not a promise. That's just me speculating, but we'll see.
And you know what I've found on the first of the next month, it's still just as fun because I look at that new plan, and even though the assigning's already done, I review every single category because there's some categories that had money left over at the end of the month and it rolls over into the next month and I want to make an adjustment. You know, I had a couple extra grocery dollars, so let's, maybe move those somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
I still hit that underfunded button and just let it do it for me a lot. But this morning my wife got paid and I actually did type it out and it was a lot more fun and it took probably not even as much time, but so I don't know. I do think that there are good arguments for both. Let us know who won the debate. Not your personal opinion. I mean, tell us your personal opinion, but who won the debate? That's what we want to know.
Topic number 5, YNAB app or your own spreadsheet.
All right. Okay. Get interesting. You flip the coin this time. I'm going to say tails.
It didn't even spin.
Oh, what are you trying to pull, Ernie?
Financial advice that actually flipping works. Heads.
Okay, you pick again.
YNAB app. YNAB app.
Okay. I'll be that guy.
I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to give you the floor first.
Okay.
Ben,
okay.
Why should we use our own spreadsheet instead of YNAB?
Why should you pay for something? Why should you pay money for something that is meant to save you money, Ernie? Just use your own spreadsheet. I mean, you can do it. You're a big boy. You can make your fancy spreadsheet and do your math. Why do you got to use, like a glorified spreadsheet like YNAB?
Because it's elegant. It's beautiful. It is centered around the YNAB method of giving every dollar a job. So I know it's counterintuitive of spending money when you're supposed to be saving money, but you're going to end up saving so much more money than you would ever expect when you're using the YNAB app because you just start seeing money in a different way. You have all this newfound clarity and confidence. You have awareness. You have intention behind every single dollar. And those cash accounts, those balances start increasing.
Well, here's the deal, Ernie. My spreadsheet has like 20 different colors. It's beautiful. It's my baby. Sure, it breaks all the time. And I spend a lot of time fiddling with formulas, but I like it. It's my baby. I love it. Why should I try something when the spreadsheet is kind of working some of the time,
Kind of working some of the time. How about working all of the time? Wouldn't that be nice?
Honestly, yeah, it probably would be.
Oh, and here's this. How easy is it to share that spreadsheet with your partner, Caitlin?
Oh, Caitlin does not look at it at all because she would mess it up. So I don't even let her look at it, but she's not interested. So that's not a problem for me because she just doesn't look at it.
Sharing YNAB with your partner is so easy. So
really?
Easy.
Oh, all right.
They can have it on their computer, their phone. There's nothing to screw up. Okay. You both can be in there. You both have that awareness, that clarity, that confidence.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But what about, I think that personal finance should be hard. So I think that I'm going to make it hard by using a spreadsheet and fiddling with a bunch of numbers all the time.
Well, I don't know if I can help you there. But if there's ever a point where you're like, I think this should be a little bit easier. I want to make this a little bit easier. I want to explore the possibility of easier. YNAB's going to be there for you.
Okay. Well, I obviously threw that one.
Time. I'm sorry to give you that one. That is tough.
It's so hard because I don't want to use the spreadsheet. So coming up with ideas. Maybe you guys have better arguments. I don't know. I will say, hey, if you are living a spendful life with a spreadsheet, keep doing it. Like, I don't care. Again, all I care about is that you give every dollar a job. But if you want to make it easier and better in a lot of ways, and have an app that's based on a method that's proven, just try YNAB.
But if you're like, maybe I could do better than my spreadsheet, give YNAB a try. You got a 34-day free trial. Just click on the link in the bio and you're set up. So it could be life-changing.
And you got to give them our link, ynab.com/nerds. There you go. So check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, I remember my old spreadsheet days and thinking this is the way it has to be. I couldn't imagine that a piece of software could actually do it better. So I was pleasantly surprised when I started.
If I did have a spreadsheet, I said Caitlin's not interested, but she totally is. She's very nerdy. In fact, we solve a lot of problems with spreadsheets. Like if there's a problem, if there's a decision to be made in life, you make a spreadsheet is what you do. But I wouldn't want to do it with something as complex as YNAB. I don't think I ever did a proper plan with a spreadsheet before.
All right, let's move on to topic number 6.
All right.
Emergency fund or month ahead.
Okay, this is good.
So what do you got that money? Do you set it aside as an emergency fund, or do you eliminate the emergency fund and use that money, that buffer, that breathing room as month ahead dollars, right? Getting out in front of next month's expenses and bills.
Yeah. All right. I'll do the coin flip. Let's see if I can win a coin flip. I think I've lost 4 in a row, so that's pretty bad. All right, I'm going to call heads. Flipping works. Oh my gosh, nailed it. Tails. Jeez, it's tails.
I'm going to take the emergency fund.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you for that, because I have opinions about this. Okay.
You're welcome. I hope I have something to say here.
Okay.
Everyone should have an emergency fund. Because, and I'm going to keep this super simple, because there's always going to be things that come up that aren't accounted for in the plan. That's why you need an emergency fund.
Well, if you're using the YNAB method, you're planning for those larger, less frequent expenses, right? So you're going to be setting money aside for really specific things like the car repairs that are coming up, or like things that you can predict, like the insurance bill you pay every 6 months or the water bill you pay every 3 months, whatever that is, right? And so a lot of people, when they think of an emergency fund, they're thinking of it as covering those things. But we have like multiple small emergency funds for these things, because they're not really emergencies. There's things that we know are going to come up, so we can actually prepare for them. And you'll actually have you'll have more peace. You'll know exactly what your money is doing, because you're setting money aside for specific things instead of just one big emergency fund. And instead, I should probably actually argue for the thing I'm supposed to argue for. And so I think that my point there is, if you are planning for those less frequent bills and expenses, your need for an emergency fund lessens, and instead you could put that money toward getting a month ahead, which is even better than an emergency fund. It's like an emergency fund, but even more.
Okay, I get that, but what trips me up is, let's talk car repairs. I'm setting money aside every single month. I have $500. What if my car repair is $750? I'm $250 short. I need to dip into my emergency fund.
Sure. That's fair. Yes, that is going to happen. But if you are a month ahead, you can actually plan for this. So think of it like this: your emergency fund, or if you're a month ahead, either way, you have cash lying around, right?
Yep.
So your month ahead money can act as an emergency fund. Like if you had to, you could draw money from that and bring it into today, right? And then you could build it back up just like you would with an emergency fund. But if you get a month ahead, you not only have the cash reserves lying around for something like that unexpected coming up, but you also are able to remove all of this tedium, all of this timing problems, all this cash flow issues, like having to time your bills to your paychecks, make sure that you don't have any problems with overdraft in any of your accounts or anything like that. If you're a month ahead, the beginning of the month, the very first day of the month, everything is fully funded. You can automate all your bills. You don't even have to worry about it, because you know it's already planned out. but you still have all the benefits of an emergency fund because you have cash lying around, right? It's just so much better.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I have to look at my checking account balance a lot more often than probably other YNABers just to make sure the money's available for a large purchase or for a large bill coming out at the beginning of the month. Sure, I get that. But there's just something about seeing that emergency fund category that brings me comfort.
Okay, that's fair. You can still have an emergency fund and be a month ahead. Like, especially if you're one of those people that's like, I got 3 to 6 months of expenses or something like that, and an emergency fund, you got a big chunk of change right now, but you're not a month ahead. You can take part of that and go ahead right now, today, get a month ahead by assigning all that money in the future. And then you'll stay perpetually ahead because every time you get paid, you'll put it into the next month, right? And still have a good chunk of change in the emergency fund category. So you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, right? It might be possible for you.
Yeah, okay. I see that. That's a good argument. And we're going to call it time because I didn't start the timer. And I ran out of things to say.
We have a whole episode about this where we make that argument. If you're not everybody has this, but if you're one of those people that has a beefy emergency fund, but you're not a month ahead, just please try it right now. I'm begging you, please go and try it. Just take that money out, put it into next month. You still have the cash. You're not spending anything, but you'll see all these benefits of not having to worry about just busy work of cash flow issues because you're a month ahead.
Yeah, I was one of those people. I was trying to get a month ahead, and I'm just like, hey, I have this emergency fund category that I haven't been using that often or at all because I've been planning for specific emergencies, not just vague ones. Let's just finish off this month ahead process by using that money to get the full month ahead. And once I did that, I was like, whoa, this feels totally different. I loved it. And then I started building up another, and I called it a job loss fund. I specifically named what that emergency would be.
Yeah,
I started building that up afterwards. And
so I think if you are really dialed in with all of your less frequent spending categories, all your non-monthly stuff, the need for a traditional emergency fund lessens because you don't have as many emergencies because you're planning for it. But the job loss fund, like any kind of income disruption, I think that's really what it's for.
Yeah. Okay, so number 7, along those lines, month ahead or pay off debt.
Okay. I like
which one do you prioritize? Getting the month ahead or paying off your debt?
Right,
Ben, you're going to call it in the air.
Okay. Tails?
It is tails.
I won a coin flip. Amazing. Okay. All right.
Congratulations.
This is like such an it depends for me. So I'm not even sure which one I prefer. I'm gonna go with pay off debt.
All right. I think everyone who is paying off debt should prioritize getting a month ahead because it's gonna stabilize that debt payoff plan. You're not gonna do the 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, right? You're gonna get a month ahead. You're gonna have a buffer. You're gonna have breathing room, and then you can consistently tackle that debt.
All right, Ernie, but if you're not one of those people who has an emergency fund that you could go ahead and stick into the next month and get a month ahead right away, it's going to take a while. Like I think on average, it takes 3 to 6 months or so for people to save that up. So all that time you're accruing interest on your debt, all that money could be going to your debt. What do you say to that?
Yes, I think that is a possibility. It's going to slow down the journey. You might pay a little bit extra in the end of things, but think of the journey and how much more enjoyable that's going to be when you're not on that financial edge anymore. You're sleeping better at night. I think you're going to be okay that the debt pay down journey is taking you a little bit longer.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can understand that. And I could see that if it's going to take me like 10 years to pay off my debt. Like, yeah, okay. There might be an argument, even though I think it's dumb for the purposes of this debate, to go ahead and go for a month ahead first. But what if you're going to be able to pay off your debt in like 3 months or 6 months or like less, like even a year? Like, why not just go for it and then worry about getting a month ahead later?
Okay, if we're talking about a really short sprint, then I would say just go for it. Finish it off.
Really? Did I win the argument?
You won that little piece of it.
Okay,
you won
fair.
that exception.
Okay. But generally, you think it should go for
I would say for most YNABers, they're not going to fall in the, hey, this is going to, happen really, really soon. I would say focus on getting that month ahead.
All right. Well, I don't have any more arguments, so sure.
All right, I'll take it. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's probably good. We should cut it down a little bit. Yeah, I think that this honestly isn't either or situation. I do think that prioritizing getting month ahead is important, but if you're going to be able to pay off debt quickly, I mean, I get it. Just go for it if you just want to go for it. But if you're going to take a long time, like more than a couple years or so, or even less, I don't know, you feel it out. Get a month ahead first. It's worth it.
And this is actually something we've heard from numerous YNABers, right? Like I did the month ahead, and boy, did things get easier after that. With I think in regards to the debt pay down.
I think when you're month ahead, all financial goals get easier. It just simplifies things so much. So, yep. All right. Next one. Okay. We're talking about a fresh start here. So if you don't know what a fresh start is in YNAB, if you ever want to start over, but you don't want to start completely from scratch, you can use the fresh start option. It's a feature in the apps, and it allows you to keep your categories, keep your account structure in a new plan in YNAB, but get rid of all the spending. So you get rid of all the transactions. So you just start with a nice, fresh, clean slate, but you don't have to do all the setup work anymore, right? So the question is, okay, should I categorize 100 vacation transactions that I didn't deal with because I was on vacation, or should I just do a fresh start? Okay. So that's the scenario we're talking about. Specifically, somebody hasn't dealt with YNAB in weeks or months, and they have 100 transactions that have to be dealt with. Should I deal with it, or should I do a fresh start? Okay. Oh yeah, and I'll flip the coin. You call it in the air.
Yep. Tails.
Oh, I dropped it. That's fine. It is tails. Okay.
I'm going the fresh start.
Okay. All right. All right. This will be fun. Okay. I'll start. Ernie, there is nothing more satisfying than just seeing a big old pile of transactions that you haven't dealt with and just chugging through that and dealing with it. And in the end, it just feels amazing. And also, you get to keep your same plan in YNAB. You have all this historical data that you get to keep in the same file. I think it's just better. It's just better to just go ahead and chunk through all that.
Ben, I just got back from a week-long vacation with my wife and our 3 teenagers.
Sure.
We're exhausted. Christy and I are exhausted.
You went on vacation. Aren't you supposed to be well rested now?
With kids. With kids. That's not a vacation.
That's a trip, as they say.
I do not want to sit down and categorize 100 plus transactions. No way. I'm just going to, that's overwhelming. I'm fresh starting and super easy.
But think of all that historical data that you're going to just completely lose out of nowhere. Completely, Ernie.
Here's the thing. People talk about the historical data all the time. What does it actually do? Like, besides showing off to your friends at the bar or the grocery store.
Yeah, personally, I always pull out my app and show off how much I spent on dining out at the bar.
Well, it's more of like the net worth reports, from years and years of debt pay down or something like that. But what's the purpose of that data? Does it actually change behavior going forward?
I mean, sure it does. Like, if I need to look up, how much did I spend when I went to that restaurant last time? I can do that, right?
I don't care what I spent at that restaurant.
I'm trying to tee you up here. That's fine. That's fine. You can still look it up. That's the thing. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, right. You can still look it up.
Wow, you can, Ernie?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
because YNAB's not going to delete it completely. It archives that old budget. You can always go back to that old plan if you want to. So you're not going to lose it.
But I just think it's just so satisfying to just deal with it. And you kind of did wrong. Shouldn't you punish yourself by having to deal with a bunch of transactions to a bunch of payees that you're never going to see ever again because you were on vacation? Shouldn't you kind of be mean to yourself?
That's an old-fashioned mindset, Ben, that we need to get rid of. No, you should not punish yourself. You just went on vacation.
Yeah. And now you have to pay the price.
No fun.
All right. I was trying to channel the mindset that a lot of folks have. I think coming into personal finance, it's about punishing yourself. It's about making it hard because it should be hard because you made mistakes in the past. No, yeah, you're right, Ernie. Fresh start. But if you want to, some people like really do find it satisfying. And they actually enjoy it. If you want to do it, just go for it. Yeah.
If either you or I found ourselves in that situation, we would not make a fresh start. Like I would sit down and categorize those 100 transactions, and I know you would too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if it was a vacation, I might just like say, "Oh well, vacation." There's other options. There's a middle ground here, right?
Right. That's the thing. I would just all categorize them as the same, make it super easy.
Yeah. All right. Auto assign or manual entry, or no, manually. No, this isn't talking about transaction entry. Auto assign, or do you manually assign the money yourself without using that quick option? So in YNAB, we have a bunch of auto assign options where you can click a button and you can assign money based on all sorts of things, based on your targets. That's the underfunded amount. You can base it on your past spending, like your average spending or last month. And that way you don't have to physically type in every single number on every category, right? A lot of people in the community say you should still type it in yourself. We actually touched on this a little bit earlier. So,
and my guess is most people probably do both, right? So this is again, entertainment purposes only. It doesn't have to be either or, but that's the stance we're going to take. So
the answer to all these is do whatever you want. Okay,
heads or tails? Heads or tails?
Ready, flip.
Oh, you're flipping. Okay, I'm calling heads.
Okay, all right. Let me flip it again because I screwed that up. Oh, is it actually your turn to flip? That's fine. It's tails.
Okay,
you want it. All right. I'm gonna go with I'll do auto assign. You do manual because that's what you actually believe.
Okay, yeah. Everyone should go category by category, entering those amounts because it's going to increase your awareness. You're going to have so much better idea of how much you have available to spend or how much you've saved moving forward.
Okay. I could see that, but don't you already have awareness because you spent all that time setting up targets? I mean, why did you set up all these fancy targets and get it just right when you're just not even going to use it, right? If you hit the underfunded button, YNAB will automatically prioritize based on the dates that you have in your targets and based on the order in the plan and all sorts of other things, right? So why not just use that feature? It just makes it easier, Ernie.
I feel like it's added awareness because I see the target, I enter the amount, I see what's available. There's just more touch points with each category, with each dollar. I think it results in increased awareness.
That's fair. But I think I want increased convenience, Ernie. I mean, I can just get it done. And I already know I have that plan. And if I want to change it anytime, I can change up those targets, right? Or there's some other features in AutoSign that are really useful too. Like sometimes you set a target and it doesn't really match reality because, we all know you set the target and then you move things around, right? You could just use that average spending, which is a nice 12-month rolling average. You hit that and it just assigns what your average spending is and you can just move right along, right? You can't do that with if you're manually deciding every time, can you?
Well, I could still use that information. Oh, I've spent on average $153.78 on gas every single month. I could just type that number in myself.
Yeah, but why not just hit the button? It's right there. You don't get like, what if you have like arthritis in your fingers and you're like, you click or you could get typey. I mean, what are you going to do?
I will give you that. There is a lot more clickety clackety going on when I'm doing it manually. And like, sometimes it is a little annoying when you've previously assigned an amount and then you have to like, if you accidentally type over that, you have to actually add to it or subtract from that original amount. Sometimes that can get confusing, especially with new YNABers. So I'll concede that point.
Okay, but you're saying you get more awareness, which I'll concede. Yeah, that's fair. But convenience is a good thing too. And that's basically the only argument I have. So I'm going to say it again. Is. Convenience.
Well, I'll just kind of dig in my heels a little bit more here. I mean, underfunded is great and super convenient, but there's some categories where I can't use a target because I have an every 7.5 week bill.
Fair. Well, you could just do the old, figure out what you pay per year and then divide that by 12 and then you got a target. Boom, done. That's what I'd do.
I could, but then I have to do math.
Sure, but isn't that fun?
Time.
Okay. All right. I think this is a do whatever you want situation, but do whatever you want.
All right. Topic number 10, savings accounts. Set up as a actual savings account or set up as a tracking account. So the difference is when you set up a savings as tracking, it keeps the money out of the YNAB plan.
Right. Okay.
And I think you're flipping.
I flipped twice in a row now, so I think it's your turn.
Okay, I'll flip. Ben, heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go with, I'll do the easy one. I'm going to say keep it on in YNAB, not as a tracking account.
Okay. I think you should set up as tracking account. Well, I set it up as a tracking account because I don't want to spend that money. I'm scared I'm going to spend it.
I understand how you might feel that way, especially if you haven't used YNAB for a very long time, right? But here's the deal. Your categories will help you protect your savings dollars, okay? If you are going to the grocery store, what number are you going to look at to determine how much you can spend on groceries?
The groceries category.
Yeah, the groceries category, right? So what you're worried about is that you're going to look at your savings accounts balance and see that it's huge and it's going to be right there in YNAB, and you'll be like, "Oh man, I can just go crazy and buy the fancy cheese at the grocery store," right? But no, you don't need to worry about that because the only number that matters is the category, and that's how the categories protect your savings dollars. You're not going to go spending your emergency fund money at the grocery store. You're going to spend the grocery money. So YNAB's already doing a really good job of separating out your money. You don't have to worry about those big balances messing you up.
Well, this is the way I've always done it. I just want to keep doing it that way because it's worked in the past.
Okay, that's fair. Has it worked in the past, though? Has it, Ernie? Has it really worked?
I think...
No, it hasn't worked. Maybe it has. Maybe.
It hasn't worked, man.
I got him to cry. No. I think what you're going to find is that you'll have more purpose for your money. Because here's another reason to put your savings account right there in YNAB and give every dollar a job. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, you look at your savings account. What are you saving for in that account right now?
New set of golf clubs.
Okay. Is that all?
For this example, yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, so instead of having it in like a separate savings account, I mean, because how much is a new set of golf clubs? I have literally no idea. Like $100, $200.
Well, I'm actually not saving for a new set of golf clubs, but let's say I'm saving for a premium set. I'll pay $3,000 for a new set of irons, let's say.
Oh my land! All right, sure. That's fine. So okay, so that's more than I thought. Okay, so I believe it though. Okay, I'm not a golfer. Sorry. Okay, so you don't want to have like a separate savings account. You can have it all in one savings account and let YNAB keep track of the purpose of your money really clearly, right? So you don't have to worry about transferring money between all these different accounts and making mistakes or just having to keep up with that. Just keep all your savings money in one savings account and have your categories keep track of how much, and you can see the progress a little easier that way too.
Okay, I can see that. But here's the thing. If I were to put that savings account on YNAB, I would end up playing the matchy-matchy game. And you guys always rip on people who play the matchy-matchy game, and I don't want you to rip on me anymore.
Okay, that's fair. Here's here's what you do then. Just transfer that money to one savings account and delete the savings account in your life, or close it, because you only need one. Are you saying you only have one?
No, I don't have. I have multiple, but we're at time.
Yeah. Okay, we're just making that argument.
That was tough, yeah, because I had to make up a scenario because
you so believe it. I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, put your savings accounts on YNAB, guys. I know. Okay, if you're just getting started and you're like, that makes you nervous, give it some time. It took me like 2 years before I consolidated all my savings accounts and put it all on YNAB. So I understand, but eventually I want you to get there. It's good.
All right, we have 2 more topics to debate.
Okay.
Number 11, look at YNAB Everyday or not.
Okay, I'll flip a coin. Call it in the air, please.
Heads.
Oh my gosh, I dropped it again. It's tails. I'm trying to show up Ben M, but I can't do it. All right, it's tails.
So you win.
So I win. Oh wow, yeah.
Now
that's right.
you're kind of on a heater now.
I am on a heater. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say look at it every day. You can take the not. All right. I'll let you go first though.
Yeah, I don't want to be in YNAB every single day. There's other things that I need to do.
Like what, Ernie? I mean, what else could be better than looking at YNAB?
Remember my hobbies: golf, organizing my closet, cleaning my kitchen.
True. Okay, here's the deal. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Like if you just take a look, 5 minutes, maybe even less. You don't even have to reconcile every day. Just look at it, just scan through the categories, look at the ones that are important to you, get a feel for it. And what you'll find is that those numbers and your plan will just kind of become a part of you, and you'll more intuitively know what you can spend. You can make more spending decisions that way. Also, when you're about to make a spending decision, just check YNAB. That counts as one check in a day, right? So if you're about to go, I'll take the grocery store again. You're about to go get groceries and you're in the car, just look at YNAB, see how much you have left. That way you have an idea for what you can spend and you don't have to worry about it.
Just don't want to feel handcuffed to an app. I don't want to feel like every day I have to check in with something.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I want to live free.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be more free to know how much you can safely spend without having to worry about spending money that you are going to end up needing later, right? YNAB can give you that with just literally 30 seconds. It can give it to you, that clarity. I think there's more freedom in clarity than there is with a lack of clarity, don't you think?
Maybe, but what if I forget?
No, that's okay. You can always, if you forget and you overspend as a result, you can always move money from other categories. But if you ignore it for days or weeks at a time, then you won't even know where you overspent or what you need to deal with, and as a result, you won't make as much progress toward your financial goals, right? So I'm talking about just every day before you spend, or maybe at the beginning of the day, just take a look, get a feel for it, and you'll make more progress on your goals as a result. I know it's a little bit of time, but it's worth it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yes! Nailed it. All right. Cool. All right, last one. Do we want to say anything about that?
I mean, this is something I talk about in workshops all the time. Really try to get in there just for a little bit, because I think it really does. Everything you said, Ben, and plus it reduces the amount of time overall that you need to spend in the app. I think every day...
That's actually a good argument. Yeah, that's interesting.
Right. Your money really can become boring, and you can become disengaged. Not disengaged from it, but like it's not top of mind when you get to that point where you are really aware of everything that's going on. It's just kind of in the background happening automatically, and not pulling you around.
Yeah, I give a couple of analogies. It's like the dishes too. Like if you let it pile up, it's actually more work than if you just do a little every day. Same thing with my pool, because I talk about my pool a lot. I haven't talked about my pool in a little while. I feel like
I've been waiting for the Slack post, actually.
Well, this is, I know, I haven't opened it yet, and it's April 15th, and it's probably going to be like a pond in there, like a koi pond in there. But anyways, it's getting hot. But yeah, that's exactly like that. If I do a little bit of work every day on the pool, it's pristine, it's clear. If I let it go for a while and it gets funky, it's more work. It's actually, you're going to end up spending more time in the app. So I think as far as the keeping up with transactions part, if you do a little every day, it's easier. Okay.
12th and final topic. Your accounts are off by 8 cents. You can't leave the house until you find it or no.
All right. I know which side of this I want, but actually there's what I teach and then there's what I actually do. So I think it's your turn to flip.
All right. Heads or tails, Ben?
Heads.
It is heads.
Oh man, I am on a heater. All right. I'm going to go with, what do I want? I'm going to go with just make a reconciliation adjustment and move on with your life. That's what I'm going to do. Okay.
All right. Tee it up.
All right. Ernie, if you found 8 cents on the ground as you were walking along, would you pick it up?
Yes.
Okay.
I honestly would.
Yeah, you probably would. Okay. All right. Yeah, I probably would too. Okay, bad argument. So listen, Ernie, it's 8 cents. How much is your time worth? Okay. If you are off by just a little bit, you can be done reconcile by making a balance adjustment and assigning it to whatever category. You're not even going to feel it. It's not going to change anything substantial in your plan. And you can move on with your day. No problem, right? Just make that balance adjustment and move on.
But here's the thing. You're watching this episode because you're a budget nerd. You love stuff like this. You can't let 8 cents slip through the cracks. Find it. It becomes your Friday night fun.
Okay. I could see making an argument if it's fun for you, but for a lot of people, I would say even most people, it's not fun at all. It's pointless. And it's going to make you hate YNAB a little bit if you're staring at these transactions when you could be doing something fun. I mean, think of the children, Ernie. They have those little puppy dog eyes. They're like, Daddy, spend time with me. And you're like, no, I have to find this 8 cents or I'm going to die. And I can't talk to you or look at you for the rest of your life. This time is precious, Ernie.
Something I tell my children regularly. Okay. It's good to do hard things. So, sure. Yes, I know it's going to be difficult sitting down and finding that 8 cents, but you are going to become a better person by engaging in that activity. And I truly believe that, Ben.
No, you're not, Ernie. You're just not. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just make a reconciliation adjustment. You're going to be the same person after as you were before.
No, I don't believe that. You sit down and you're like, oh my goodness, do I have to do this? I don't want to do this. I don't know how to do this. And then you overcome that. That reconciliation dance is so much more exciting than if this is just like an everyday thing for you. Because, like, look at that mountain that you just charged up and took. Like, I don't know. That's going to leave a mark on a person. That's a definable YNAB moment for someone.
I mean, it kind of is, but sure. But what if you're like spending so much time in the app trying to chase these little discrepancies that you're not spending time actually looking at your plan and deciding what is important to you, right? The whole point of using YNAB is not to get your transactions exactly perfect, right? The whole point of using YNAB is building the life that you want. So if you have 10 minutes, are you going to spend it figuring out where that 8 cents is? Or are you going to spend it instead looking at your plan, deciding what you want your plan to look like, what you want your life to look like, building the life that you want, and then go and actually live it out in the world instead of staring at some ledger on the screen. Just make the reconciliation adjustment. It's fine.
I'll give you that, and this will be the closing argument because we hit time. Yes, if this is becoming your every Friday night activity, something's got to change. I think I was arguing it from a, hey, this is happens like, this is the first time it's happened in 3 years.
Yeah. I will fix it every time because well, there is like quite a bit of satisfaction. Like when we did the live event and finding those little discrepancies and like when you actually find it, it's glorious, right? And then not finding it feels kind of sad because you kind of lost that dopamine rush of figuring out the problem. But yeah, I'm probably gonna find it every time, but I did make some good arguments to not, so maybe I should not do it. I don't know.
All right, that was fun. I hope it was fun for everyone else. But before we let you go, we got to share a couple YNAB wins.
Let's do it.
My YNAB win comes from Jody. Jody emailed us in probably months and months, maybe years ago at this point. I recently switched to YNAB from EveryDollar, and I will never look back. For my YNAB win, while there are a few days left in the month, when I looked at my day-to-day spending today, I realized I have literally spent half as much as I did last month.
Wow.
I knew my expenses had been creeping, but I didn't realize that they were that out of control. I can now see a path to setting aside money so I don't feel guilty about making some of the big purchases that I have been daydreaming about: new car, outdoor kitchen, etc. Thanks for all the information and the laughs you have provided over the last month. I'm hopeful that this budget routine will stick long-term for me since it only takes a few minutes to manage and the information I need is easily accessible all the time.
Way to go,
oh my
Jody.
Goodness. We didn't even hand pick that. I just randomly selected that right now and it just tied in perfectly with that accounts reconciliation.
I feel like she hit on a lot of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like it just works with your brain more. So that's awesome. Love it.
Yeah, good job, Jody. Congrats.
All right, well, I have one from Michelle who wrote in on the Find the Money First episode in a comment. And Michelle said, I just found the money first last week when we were looking at doing a bathroom remodel a year earlier than we had been planning. After the quote came in much higher than we were hoping, I moved all the comfortable dollars to the remodel category, which wasn't enough, and decided to hold off longer until we could comfortably move more to it. There was money enough in other categories to cover, but it wasn't worth the uncomfortableness of rolling from those higher priorities. I learned this lesson of finding the money first from ignoring it 5 years ago with our kitchen remodel and having to do too much scrambling and whamming. This decision feels so much better and informed. YNAB magic. Love it, Michelle. Yeah, because what happened was you actually weighed the trade-offs ahead of time and you realize I don't want to make this trade-off, actually, not right now. I want to keep the money where it is. I've already moved some money. And yeah, you're able to make an informed decision instead of like regretting it later. And that is like what YNAB is about in a nutshell right there.
All right, folks, thanks for sticking with us. Have a great rest of the week and we'll see you again in 2.
All right, see you.